What's up, dinguses? Yeah, that's a real poster. This is a real microphone. It's not plugged in. I just like it. It makes me feel more official. As far as monsters and ghouls go, vampires have never really done it for me. Werewolves aren't that scary, but I feel like the idea is there, and I still genuinely have to scroll past those creepy ghost videos that I get on my Instagram feed. So vampires kind of got the short end of the stick, especially in terms of modern interpretations. The new Nosferatu movie was kind of scary until I realized I was just watching gross vampire sex.
Crazy style.
The thing is, vampires are normally made to be either tragedies or romantics. They're either hot, sad, or both. What happened to good old blood-sucking monsters that are just straight up evil? I don't want to have to face a moral dilemma every single time I watch a vampire movie. So anyway, let's watch a movie about hot and sad vampires who face moral dilemmas. Lost Boys is a special movie to me. I've seen it probably 20 plus times at this point. I could quote most of the movie. It's just one of those ones that somehow becomes so iconic to me and like my family. But with that said, I don't want to just glaze the movie, even though it deserves nothing but my undying love. I do want to make fun of the dumb stuff and point out some of the issues I have with like the plot and the characters and their decisions. With that disclaimer out of the way, let's get into it. The movie opens with this establishing shot of a boardwalk in California with this absolute banger playing in the background. This movie's set in the 80s, so the music is pretty rad. We see a group of leather-clad grown men enjoying themselves on a carousel, as grown men do, but they get into a little bit of a kerfuffle. Sadly, this results in them getting kicked off the boardwalk by this mall cop.
Okay, boys, let's go.
Turns out the officer picked a bone with the wrong group of people because we see him get murked in the next scene by a mysterious flying monster. It's the vampires. Although I do want to point out that the movie does something kind of clever here. By not showing us the vampires and omitting us that visual information, they leave the viewers to imagine it on their own. And nothing is scarier than your own imagination. That's why they do it. Not because the vampires flying around looks really stupid or anything. No, it's for the scare factor. Alright, hard cut to the main characters. We got Sam, Michael, and Mom. Remember those names. Also, can I just say, I love this opening scene so much. I know I said I wouldn't glaze this movie, but it's so hard to come around like natural family dynamics in movies and TV shows nowadays, and this movie does such a good job of it. We learned that our main characters are moving from Phoenix to California because the mom got divorced, and now they're gonna live with their grandpa in Santa Carla, which is based on the real-life city Santa Cruz. They drive past this sign, and it turns around, and we see that it says murder capital of the world. Very ominous. We are also blessed with the most perfect cover of People Are Strange by Echo and the Bunnymen. Right afterwards, there's this opening credits scene, which is a montage of Santa Carla. And this is genuinely one of my favorite parts of the movie, right off the bat. Like the vibe, the boardwalk, the hair, so much funny hair. You know, this movie's like 80s nostalgia bait, but it was actually made in the 80s. The best part about this whole scene is they probably just got a dude to take a camera to this boardwalk and film a bunch of people like it's a documentary or something. Like, look at these freaks. I never seen that before, and I still wish I hadn't. No one talks about the downsides of doing videos like this. You have to watch a movie so much that you start picking out all the gross details you wish you didn't know. There's so much here in this scene, and I love all of it. I've actually been to the real boardwalk in Santa Cruz. Cool place. Anyway, in this montage, they keep shoving in our face a bunch of missing posters. Like, they cannot stop showing us these. Must be a pretty safe place, to be honest. I'd let my kids run around here at night. Dang it. Also, as they're driving up to their grandpa's house, Michael is on a motorbike behind the car, just straight up eating dirt. He wasn't on the motorcycle earlier, which means he got it out of the car just so he could get crop dusted by it on the way up. Sam has a dog named Nanook. Very important, we love Nanook. And pay attention to Sam's fashion throughout the movie, it's so special. When they get to the house, their grandpa's playing dead, and Sam says this.
If he's dead, can we go back to Phoenix?
I hope you die in a fire. They explore the house a bit, and honestly, it is such a great set. Like, I love every nook and cranny of this place. It oozes character. Look, it's Boppers, the thing from Stranger Things. Another recurring theme in this movie is Sam's inability to laugh like a normal human being. Anyway.
Grandpa, is it true that Santa Carla's the murder capital of the world?
If all the corpses buried around here was to stand up all at once, we'd have one hell of a population problem.
You know, that's very scary. It'd be really stupid if you let your kids run around the murder capital of the world alone at night. This is the most realistic brother interaction I've seen portrayed in a movie ever. After that opening scene at the boardwalk with all the 80s hair and music and stuff, you're probably thinking like, this movie couldn't get any more 80s. I'm here to prove you wrong with this single 3-second clip. I rest my case. I did some research on this saxophone dude. His name is Tim Capello. He played saxophone for Tina Turner for a really long time. She's the What's Love Gotta Do With It lady, and was so influential that even SNL has like a little parody of this guy. Honestly a legend, my personal idol, and apparently he also has a solo album on Spotify, so I know what's going on my hanky-panky playlist. Michael sees this girl at the concert and is immediately entranced. As teenage boys are, that's actually pretty accurate.
I'm at the mercy of your sex plans, bud.
You know, I'll admit, I'm kind of surprised that their mom let them come out to the boardwalk at night, but at least they're together. It would be really irresponsible if they were like split up and leave each other alone.
Sam, don't you have something better to do than follow me around all night?
Sam goes to a comic book store and we meet the next set of important characters. These are the Frog brothers, Alan and Edgar Frog. After Sam absolutely asserts his dominance.
And you can't put the number 98 with the 300s. Laurie Lamaris hasn't even been introduced.
The Frog brothers try to give him a horror comic about vampires. This is actually the first mention of vampires in the movie. It also shows us that the Frog brothers know something that's going on in Santa Carla that we don't. Cut to Michael. He's still chasing the girl from earlier. She has a kid? Wouldn't that be an immediate no? I'm not trying to diss single mothers or anything. I love my single mother audience. But as a high schooler, you know, that's quite the commitment for a girl you haven't even met yet. And she's with another dude. Red flags all around.
Come on, she stiffed ya.
We also see their mom wandering the boardwalk looking for work when she runs into the store owner, Max.
Well, how may I help you this evening?
And he'll be more important later. In the next scene, the people from the carousel at the beginning get attacked by these ambiguous flying monsters. The vampires. But I just love how long it takes them to notice that the roof of their car is being ripped off. Sam goes back to the comic book store the next day, and the Frog brothers hint really hard that there's vampires in Santa Carla.
Hey, man. Read this.
I told you, I don't like horror comics.
Think of it more as a survival manual.
This seems like a good spot to mention that me and my brother actually dressed up as Edgar and Allan Frog for Halloween one year. See, this obsession for the Lost Boys goes beyond just watching the movie. I want to become these characters. We also get this iconic line.
And pray that you never need to call us.
I'll pray I never need to call you.
We cut back to the boardwalk where once again these children are left to roam alone.
It's great. Definitely enjoy it.
Aw, Michael wants to fit in with a biker gang from earlier. He runs into that girl from the concert again, and they flirt a little bit.
I came this close to being called Moonbeam or Moonchild.
And then we get this scene.
Star.
Once again, red flag. Get out while you can, Michael. It is not worth it. This guy's name is David, by the way. Also, I want to point out that one of the gang members is Bill from Bill and Ted, and I don't know how to feel about that. David and Michael have a motorcycle race / penis measuring contest / death wish playdate. Side note though, the cinematography here is incredible. So after that whole fiasco, Michael decides to follow the gang into their secret hideout. Why does he do this? No idea. I don't even think it's about the girl from the concert anymore. Maybe he's into David now. He was pretty impassioned after that bike race.
Just you! Come on! Just you!
Jim Morrison poster shadow. Also, I realize that we have not really addressed the fact that there's a kid hanging out with these dudes. Spoiler alert, it's never properly explained. His name is Laddie, and he kind of just exists in the movie, not really serving any narrative purpose. I found a Reddit post saying that it might be a metaphor for abuse, but personally, I'm not sure if I agree with the conclusion. Either way, I'll talk more about him later. Back at Grandpa's house, Sam is finally reading that vampire comic.
This is a terrible thing to admit, but I think that, one of the reasons I divorced your father was because he never believed in the closet monster.
I don't think that addressing the specific reasons why you divorce your husband to your kids is a very good idea. And listen, I know it's hard being a single mother.
I'm one myself, actually.
But at this very moment, her son is in an underground hotel with a motorcycle gang in the murder capital of the world. Quick editor's note real quick. I just noticed this poster in Sam's room of Rob Lowe. So maybe a monster isn't the only thing in the closet right now, if you know what I mean. And yes, I know my hair is way different. I procrastinated editing this video for a really long time. Anyway, back to the video. Back with the dumbest son, we get this bit.
That's what I love about this place. You ask, and then you get.
And by get, David means Chinese takeout food.
Chinese.
Michael finally refuses something from them.
You don't like rice? Tell me, Michael, how could a billion Chinese people be wrong?
Although I kind of think it's a bit late at this point. This is when stuff gets a little bit weird. The gang starts playing some mind games on Michael and make him think that he's eating maggots and worms. All of this ends up leading to this point when David hands Michael a drink.
Drink some of this, Michael.
Star, that lady from the concert, tells Michael that it's blood, but at this point he doesn't believe her and he takes a drink anyway. Side note, David handing him the bottle reminds me of that scene of Barbossa in Pirates of the Caribbean.
Drink some of this, Michael.
This is the reason why so many people are missing in Santa Carla. They just drink from random bottles handed to them by strangers. This following trip montage is incredible. Tell me this isn't peak cinematography. After whatever the heck that was, the biker gang goes to a bridge. Alright, so Marco's that guy, David's that guy, this dude is named Paul, but this guy just legit goes unnamed the whole movie. I'm gonna call him Tommy, because he looks like Tommy Lee back in the 80s. One by one, these dudes jump off of the bridge in their own stylish way. I actually absolutely adore that they all do their own thing here. It gives each of them some much needed personality. In fact, let's do a ranking real quick. Alright, we'll start at the very bottom. Worst is David for sure. He has a cringy line leading up to it.
Come with us, Michael.
He does it with his back turned to Michael. Just ain't doing it for me. Next up, we got Tommy. He's got some aura, but with the silence, it just feels a little rushed. Get into the better ones. Marco.
Good night, Michael.
Bombs away!
The little bombs away is 10 out of 10. And it's Bill. And then number one, Paul, by a mile.
Bottoms up, man.
That snap just scratches my brain. And the little woo is great. I love it. Anyway, sadly, they're not actually dead. They're just hanging beneath the bridge. Although it'd be pretty funny if the movie just ended there with Michael being a witness to a group Sudoku. Why do they know his full name?
Michael Emerson!
That's red flag number 43 at this point. Second, remember when there used to be that thing about peer pressure where your mom would be like, if your friends jumped off a cliff, would you follow them? Michael would not be able to answer that question because he'd already be halfway down the cliffside plummeting to his death. Why on earth does he follow them here? A train ends up crossing the bridge above them, making it harder to hold on to these bars. And I don't feel bad for Michael at all here. He 100% got himself into this situation. Rip Bill.
Let go! You are one of us, Michael!
I don't think David understands how questions work. Michael tries and fails to get back up after the train passes. Why he doesn't swing, I don't know. But he ends up falling. But he doesn't really fall. He's kind of just floating in the air with this fog around him. It's so funny. He realizes he's not falling for a second and stops screaming, but then gets scared again. This part cracks me up every single time. But alas, he wakes up the next morning, back at home, without a proper memory of what happened the night before. We learn that this coming night, Mom is going on a date with Max, and that Grandpa is going out with a widow down the street. Obviously, Michael isn't doing so hot. He's acting weird and making dark jokes.
It wasn't funny, Mike.
Which, as everyone knows, is early signs of vampire transformation. The weirdness is ramped up when we get this next scene. It's never fully explained what happened here or why, nor is it really acknowledged later in the movie. My personal interpretation is that Michael is losing his mind a little bit, and the scene really effectively conveys this feeling of confusion and fear. Also, I love the little bat squeaks that we hear when he opens up the door. It's a very nice touch. After that, Michael decides that it's time for Sam to bathe.
Go take your bath.
I just want to ask, are people who take baths real? I don't think I've ever met a human being in my life who's enjoyed taking a bath. And if I'm wrong, please correct me. I just don't know what's to like about a bath. It's always too hot or cold. I feel gross sitting in soup of my own filth. And then I'm pruny after 3 seconds of being in there. I digress. Michael has a bit of a freak out and menacingly barges into the bathroom. Luckily, Nanook is there to attack them. We love Nanook. Sam, that seems like a terrible spot to leave your towel. One wrong move and you're stuck waddling naked to your room to try to find another towel. Don't call me weird. I know you've done that before. Sam immediately sides with his dog when he sees what happened.
Nanook. What about Nanook? What'd you do to my dog, you asshole?
Which, kudos to him. There's also an unholy amount of blood here. This is when Sam and Michael first realize that Michael might be turning into a vampire.
Your creature of the night, Michael.
Sam is rightfully scared and he runs into his room to call the Frog Brothers. Yeah, baby. Sadly, it's a monumentally unhelpful phone call.
Get yourself a good sharp steak and drive it right through his heart.
I can't do that. He's my brother.
So Sam instead tries to call his mom and explain the situation, but Michael starts floating around outside. Alright, this is a pivotal point in the movie, and it really sets up what I think is the strongest theme throughout: brotherhood. Michael begs Sam to let him in, saying that he's not a vampire, he's his brother.
I'm your brother, Sammy. Help me!
Sam gives in and eventually lets Michael back into the room, and they kind of share a moment together. Up to this point in the movie, it's not like Sam and Michael have really demonstrated a strong brotherly bond in any special way, even though I think the movie does a great job of conveying it through the smaller things. And yes, I'm deliberately ignoring the fact that Michael left Sam alone at night in the city with more missing posters than... streets. But this is the first point in the movie where Sam has to trust Michael despite his fear because of that brotherly bond, and it will definitely happen again. Sam covers for Michael and lies to his mom about what happened. Afterwards, Michael sneaks out in hopes that he can find out what's really going on with him. Turns out he's a terrible detective because all he ends up doing is getting freaky with Star. Nice going, Sherlock. Michael gets back from a long day of investigative work and then proceeds to treat his mom like crap.
If there's a girl,
I'm tired, Mom.
we could talk.
I'm tired.
We could talk about anything you wanted to talk about.
I have more serious things in my mind than girls in school.
Not cool.
Did you take care of everything, Michael?
If taking care of everything means making whoopee with the vampire girl, then yes. We got to a scene where Sam's mom gets attacked by Max, the store owner's dog, and there's the very subtle implication that this is a hound of hell. Sam sets up a meeting with the Frog Brothers and begins to discuss what they should do about Michael being a vampire. We learned that since Michael hasn't made his first kill, he's only a half vampire, and then if they kill the head vampire, then the half vampires return to normal people. Now, it is worth noting that since the Frog Brothers haven't indicated that they have any other way of knowing about vampires besides comic books, all of their information on vampires comes from comic books. Which also implies that somehow the comic book writers in this world know about vampires in Santa Carla and what's going on. Which means that with this important knowledge that vampires exist and are actively killing people, they sat there and thought for a second, we gotta make a comic book about this. Sam suggests to the Frog Brothers that Max is the head vampire, with his logic being
This all started when my mom went to work at Max's video store.
I think this all started when Michael said bye-bye to common sense and drank from a bottle given to him by a stranger. Max really is getting called out here for absolutely no reason. So anyway, their mom has Max over for the date.
And you must be Max.
Right.
Sam and the Frog Brothers set up a trap to see if Max really is the head vampire. They have him eat garlic, they put holy water on him, and they even try to see if he has a reflection. But all of the anti-vamp tests fail, so Max is safe. After the whole debacle, Max talks to the mom. Her name is Lucy, by the way. I don't know why I've exclusively been referring to her as mom this whole time. Max talks to Lucy and starts like mansplaining parenting, so we hate Max now.
Kids Sam's age need discipline. Otherwise, they run all over you.
Ugh. Michael goes back out that night to look for Star. Why? I don't know. She wasn't very useful the first time, so I guess he just wants more hanky-panky. Instead, he finds David and the rest of the gang, and they say this.
Michael, you ever want to see Star again? You better come with us now.
See, David knows how to leverage. David takes Michael to this campsite where there's just a bunch of people vibing, blasting some Aerosmith. It would be a real shame if each and every one of them had to die. David reveals his vampire form. I'm pretty sure canines are supposed to be the elongated ones. I can't believe they messed that up. It's like they don't even know what vampires are. Anyway, the gang vamps out and attacks the group of campers. Slight gore and violence disclaimer here, but there's this part where David attacks this bald guy and he bites just directly into the back of the dude's head. And it makes me crack up every single time because there's no way that was the easiest spot to bite. David is very extra. We see Michael begin to swap into a vampire form, but as you see here, he doesn't have his teeth yet. So we still know he's half vampire. He hasn't made his first kill. This is where David gives a little speech about the nature of being a vampire.
So, now you know what we are. Now you know what you are.
And where the title of the movie begins to tie back in with the plot. But I want to save my uneducated analysis for the end, so we'll come back later. Michael gets back home and says this to Sam.
I know who I am now, Sam.
He just spent the last 20 minutes of the movie figuring out something that Sam already knew. And a good 5 minutes of that time was just him making whoopee. Star shows up to the grandpa's house to explain the situation to Michael and to ask for help.
That wasn't wine they gave me to drink. It was blood. I tried to warn you.
Okay, you didn't really try that hard. Your drink, sir. Thank you, thank you.
Don't drink it. Don't drink it. No.
I can't hear you. You have butt cheek hair?
I tried to warn you. I tried to warn you.
Star also explains that she thinks that David is the head vampire, and so they start forming a new plan. I also want to point out that this is the first time that the movie even acknowledges the existence of Laddie.
Like Laddie and me.
Sam calls up the Frog Brothers and they drive down to the underground hotel to attack the vampires while they're sleeping. And we also get another awesome brother moment before they charge the tomb.
Well, this time I'll protect you, bud. Even though you're a vampire, you're still my brother.
They find Star in the base and try to take her out to safety.
No, take Laddie first, please.
That definitely was not a save the kid first. That was a 5 more minutes of sleep, please. They eventually find the vampires sleeping in very classic fashion.
Remember, you just have to kill a leader, huh? We don't know which one the leader is.
Did Michael not think to tell them about that beforehand? They take a guess and stab Bill. Rip Bill. Also, no idea why Sam is protesting them killing the vampires at this point.
No, don't even!
Killing Marco causes the other vampires to wake up, and they try to snatch Sam. After a bit of a tug of war, they pull David into the sunlight just a little bit. And you know how some vampires like either sparkle or get like really nasty sunburns when they go in the sun? Vampires in Lost Boys, no. They just combust. After the whole fiasco, they all run outside to the car to get away.
We don't ride with vampires.
Continuity error. I love Michael's walk here. And their grandpa is so unconcerned with what could easily be a kidnapping. The Frog Brothers explain that when the sun goes down, the vampires will be out looking for them and that they have to fortify the house and prepare to fight back. Sam does try to tell his mom what's going on, but at this point she doesn't believe him, and so they're on their own. They grab some holy water. They also barricade the doors and grab the largest bag of garlic that I've ever laid my eyes on. Now, nighttime is upon us, and the creatures of the aforementioned nighttime are waking up. Side note, David has some really luscious eyelashes, like holy. Right before the vampires get to their house, Sam and Michael realize that they left Nanook outside, and Sam immediately runs out, which, yeah, if anything happened to that dog, I would have stopped the movie. You know how it's a trope for people to fall over in horror movies? This is the quickest recovery I've ever seen. Anyway, now, the attack is on. I was thinking about it, the trajectory of how the vampire had to go through the chimney in my head is so funny. He would have had to dive down head first and then crescendoed out. And this is why they hadn't shown the vampires flying yet, because yes, it looks goofy to the utmost. The Frog Brothers immediately turn against Laddie and Star, but get interrupted by another vampire.
You're mine!
Okay, remember this line, because I'm going to come back to it.
Garlic don't work, boys!
Nanook saves the day, and just a warning, the next bit is kind of gross. Rip Paul. Sam nails a vampire with a wooden arrow, so it's 3 down, 1 to go. Rip Tommy, by the way. Apparently his name is Dwayne. I had to look that up. Can I just say, the lighting here? Mwah. We're at the final showdown. Michael versus David, good versus bad, vampire versus half vampire, blonde versus brunette, a gang leader versus a brother. After some prolonged aerial shenanigans, Michael finishes off David with this confusing and frankly weak one-liner.
It's too late. My blood is in your veins. Soul is mine!
There's a faint light above David, along with a choir of children singing when he dies. I don't know why, but it kind of has the same vibes as Roy's death from Blade Runner. I think there's definitely some symbolism here to unpack, but I'll talk about it later. Now that David is dead, everything should be fine. They killed the head vampire. Everyone should return back to normal. Yeah, no.
He's just a little boy.
Star, that looks like if Chucky and Satan had fornication. Right as David dies, Lucy gets back from her date with Max. The big twist is that Max actually is the head vampire. How did he not get caught by the tests earlier?
Don't ever invite a vampire into your house, you silly boy. It renders you powerless.
Yeah, so Michael had invited him into the house before that.
You're invited.
So Max reveals that his plan was to turn Sam and Michael into vampires, so Lucy would basically be forced to join them, and they could have a fun vampire family all together. After another monumentally weak one-liner,
I didn't invite you this time, Max.
Michael hits him with the zombie run and gets WWE'd upstairs, and then everyone else is completely useless. With Sam in Max's clutches, he has Lucy right where he wants her. Just as he's about to bite down on her neck, we hear a car horn in the background. Grandpa drives into the house, and a stake launches out from the car, impaling Max. Dude, how's that for a climax? The movie fades out with this iconic line.
One thing about living in Santa Carla I never could stomach. All the damn vampires.
And that's Lost Boys. I used to think that The Lost Boys was this cult classic movie. I never really realized how much it had branched out into the broader public's eyes, and how many people have seen it. For better, of course. I would never want to gatekeep such a golden movie. I'm obviously super biased, but I genuinely believe that this movie is a masterpiece. Barring a few issues with the plot and suboptimal special effects, it tells an original story about vampires that aren't complete dinguses. I think there's a ton of metaphors and symbolism to unpack. My personal favorite is related to the title of the movie, The Lost Boys. If you're like me and you didn't know, the name The Lost Boys actually comes from Peter Pan. The Lost Boys and Peter Pan are a group of kids who live in Neverland who never grow old. Kinda like that thing that David was talking about.
You'll never grow old, Michael. And you'll never die.
At the end of Peter Pan, though, the Lost Boys decide to leave Neverland, choosing to live and grow up instead of having eternal youth. My personal interpretation of the movie is that it's a commentary on growing up and maturing. Unlike Peter Pan, which is trying to tell the story of maintaining childlike wonder in the face of inevitable adulthood, I think The Lost Boys touches on the harm that can be caused by refusing to grow up. The vampire gang stays young forever, spending their time goofing off on the boardwalk and dangling from bridges, but their eternal youth comes at the cost of human lives.
But you must feed.
Ergo, never maturing can negatively affect the people around you. And yes, I'm talking about all the people who are still dabbing and saying yeet. It's time to move on. David's death scene could represent the sad but healthy decision to move on with life and mature. Either way, super surface level analysis. I think there's a lot more to unpack, but I'll leave that for someone smarter than me, or just pin the comment of whoever writes the best essay. There's also a couple issues with the movie I want to address, mainly the vampire logic. I don't know what rules set vampires follow in this world, and I swear it's different in every single movie. But in this one, they seem to follow every single trope, like no sun, no reflection, they have to be invited in, the Hounds of Hell thing. Except garlic. Why not garlic? And there's no explanation as to why. Also, what's the deal with Laddie? He's hardly mentioned and he has no lasting impact on the plot. The only reason I could come up with for him being there is that maybe he's a plot device to try and help build sympathy for Star and their situation, or maybe to further the whole vampire gang Peter Pan comparison. Either that or the guy on Reddit was right. Again, if you have any theories about it, I would love to know. By far, my favorite theme in the movie is the whole brotherhood thing. Sam and Michael have each other's back throughout the entire movie, and their teamwork is how they overcame Billy, Davey, Tommy, and Paul. And it's super fun to watch the actors convey this brothership on screen, and they do a super good job of it. Brothership is cool. The 80s were fun. Lucy isn't a great parent, but Max is way worse, and it's time for you to grow up. Tell Rutabaga I said hi, by the way.